Hello friends, this is Aubrey from Crybaby Salmon Homestead. Today we're going to be planting an orchard to go. Yes, an orchard to go. My terminology here is going to make a lot of sense once we get this project started. Let's take a look at what we're growing today. We will be planting a bunch of pawpaw seeds, and actually it's kind of a funny story. I had purchased some seeds from a vendor online. I can't figure out who it was because they didn't write their name on the envelope. They just wrote the return address, which I kind of feel like I should write them a card back and say, wonderful seeds, they're doing excellent. What are they? Are they for sure pawpaw? I believe that they are. They look just like the seeds I planted before. But I buy so many seeds. I really wish people would include a little label or something at least. So you can track it back. You know, I tried searching through my emails of the person's address and all that. It didn't work. So I'm assuming it's somebody I bought seeds from either on Etsy or possibly eBay. Anyway, I'm really pleased. But the problem was, I had the mail in my car, and I asked my kids, hey, help me clean up the car. And so they took all the stuff and they put it into a backpack. Well, in the envelope were seeds. And pawpaw seeds, as you know from my other videos, they have to be kept moist. So the person did the right thing. They had them in a Ziploc baggie with like a damp paper towel, and the envelope was completely sealed with plastic tape. So it didn't ooze or do anything bad to the backpack. And I was cleaning up the backpack and I found the envelope. I went, oh no, I bet you those are seeds. And I wonder if they're rotten. So I cut them open carefully because I'm not sure if there's stems and leaves and roots and stuff going on. And when I opened it up, I could see that there was one seed which had sprouted and was kind of deformed, but I think it's going to be okay. I actually went ahead and took that one out separate, and I just poked a hole in a pot and put it in. It seems to be actually growing leaves now, so I think that one's going to be okay. I planted that one ahead of time. The other ones looked good, and I wasn't sure if they were going to sprout or not. A few of them had a tiny little crack where I could see a very tiny little nub of a root coming through. So I was like, oh, I was lucky. It was kind of moldy and kind of gross. I just rinsed them off really good, and I threw away the paper towel and rinsed out the baggie. And then I just went ahead, and you have to watch this to see how I made a pawpaw orchard to go. Let's get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and plant these pawpaw seeds. Some of them are sprouting, and I've got the soil. I'm going to reuse one of these trays, and let's get it going. Look how simple this is. This is just, we had breakfast as a treat out, and we saved the container. Perfect for a seedling tray. On the seeds that I can see are sprouting, I'm going to put the roots down. I just love that these pawpaw tree seedlings are clearly viable. Love that. So I'm going to be very gentle. I don't want to break off the roots. There we go. This is just to start them. I'll transplant them later, obviously. And I'm going to add a little bit of soil on top of this later. But these look very healthy. And if you don't know which way is down, you can always plant them sideways. But it looks like the roots are coming out from the bottom like that at the pointy end. But sideways is safe. I can tell from the weight of them, they feel really healthy. And these are closer than they should be, but when they're good and sprouted, it's really easy just to transplant them. Not a big deal. to do another tray because I have a lot of seeds. I'm going to add a little bit more soil on the top. And this mix is Miracle Grow and peat moss. It's nice and soft, and there are no like pathogens. There we go. I'm going to actually give it a little bit of water. This container doesn't have drainage holes. I could put drainage holes, but I don't have anything to put underneath them. So I'm just going to make sure I don't overwater. I want the soil to be damp. Maybe a little bit more here. And now I'll close it. Last time I was just kidding. There we go. Don't forget to label. These are pawpaw trees. So we've got another tray, which of course I washed with soap and water. Ideally, it's good to plant them before they have roots. So I like to catch them as soon as I start to see them breaking through. Because then you don't have to be quite as careful not to break off those precious little roots. That would kill them. Okay, let's get the seeds. And I'm doing them sideways. That's 4 on that one, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's closer than I want them, but I'm going to do 3 trays, I guess. There we go. And you see I like to repurpose materials. Even the plastic baggie was repurposed. Just wash them. You don't want mold or fungus. And by closing this up, I'm also going to prevent fruit flies from killing my babies, or fungus gnats too. Okay, I got some soil in the hinge. There we go. Okay, this is the last tray, and there's not as many to go in this one. I think these will actually have the ideal spacing. Looks good. 1, 2. Oops. Don't plant it upside down. So I've got 6 in here, and I need to add some more water. This is my 3rd tray. There are 6 in here. These close up really nice. You just need to make sure that you don't have soil in the hinges. These coffee creamer containers make really good watering cans for indoors. And these were really good at keeping fruit flies out. Yes, they can get in. There's a little bit of ventilation, but it does really help. Keeping soil in a tote really makes cleanup a breeze. And I'll just have to sweep up. So my little play on the title, I think, might have got you. I use these. So we were naughty last weekend, and we ordered breakfast from Denny's, and we took it home to go because we were not feeling it, guys. We were tired. We were everybody wanted to relax and just sleep in and be all snuggly and not go anywhere, not do anything. So my husband picked up pancakes for the family. And of course, such a waste of money. Just make them at home. They're so much cheaper. But we went ahead and got the to-go order. Don't give me any guilt, okay? But the containers, yes, my family tried to throw them away on me. They're like, you're not going to keep those containers. I was like, yes, I am keeping those containers. I might have had to dig a few of them out of the trash can because they are not helping me. They want to hide those containers. I might have a container issue. But I actually use them, and I send them home with a lot of my students. They make their little gardens, and they take them home. So I kept these containers, and I rinsed them out, and I used them to plant those pawpaw trees. So I think I have about 30 seeds. I didn't really count clearly, but somewhere between 20 and 30. So I'm guessing I'm probably going to get a couple dozen pawpaw trees out of those seeds. They're very healthy, very fresh. At least a few of them are already sprouting. I was expecting that I was going to have to cold stratify them, but I think the person who sent them to me already did that. Maybe they refrigerated them or froze them, or not froze them, but maybe refrigerated them in the fruit. And then after eating the fruit, they kept them in the fridge or something, because they must have already been cold stratified, because with my experience with pawpaws, they do not sprout unless they've gone through about 100 days of cold dormancy. So I'm excited because I already had 3, actually, so there's actually 4, because one I already potted up when I first opened the package. So there's 4 already sprouting. So I know they're ready. And putting them back in the refrigerator is not a good idea if they're already trying to break dormancy. They've already been in a warmer climate because they're in that backpack and like normal household temperatures. So I'm really excited. And I have them all labeled and good to go. I'm just going to occasionally open up those containers, spritz them with water, and close them back up again. I don't have drainage, so I do have to keep an eye on them. There's a few little ventilation holes on those to-go packages, which is kind of nice. It gives it a little bit of breathing. It does also keep some fruit flies out. Now, they can get in and out, so fruit flies can get in there. But at least I started with, it's not, I wouldn't say a sterile soil mix, but there was nothing in there. There's nothing living in the Miracle-Gro. It's just, I don't prefer it. But I did buy the Miracle-Gro from somebody who was getting rid of it. They live in an apartment and they only needed enough for their pots. And they gave me a really cheap deal. I got them for less than half price. So I got that. I mixed it with some peat moss. And it's a really nice growing medium for little baby trees. Once they're sprouted and look pretty good, and I have to open it up so that they don't get their plastic. Okay, when they grow, when they touch the top of the little ceiling of the plastic roof, you want to make sure that from that point on, you're keeping it open. You don't want them to get moldy, or when they can, the leaves in contact with plastic tends to result in rot. So as soon as they sprout and they have a stem and leaves, I'm going to take the lids and open them permanently. And then I'm going to one by one pot them up. And they are going to be living outside eventually, but they're basically sprouting the wrong time of year. They think it's spring because of the mistake we made by keeping them inside instead of keeping them in the fridge. So I'm going to let them grow indoors until spring. Then I'm going to plant them outside, and then they're going to live outside after spring. So after my last frost, I don't want to kill back the new growth. So they're going to grow indoors. I'll pot them up as I need to, and then like mid-May, I'll plant them in bigger pots. I'm already going to have a couple steps in between there. But I'll plant them up in bigger pots and they'll be outside forevermore. Okay? I do have the dream of having like a pawpaw orchard, and I have them in those to-go containers. So that's really fun. I really think those containers are awesome. Whenever I have like a staff potluck and people bring in muffins and that kind of stuff from Costco, those containers are awesome too. The Denny's ones and the smaller containers are kind of nice because they're not floppy. So when you're trying to move them around, you don't drop your tray. So they're also small enough to fit on almost any size shelf. The bigger the containers, the more floppy they get, and that can be a problem. But you can still use them. I would just use them with littler containers inside of them. So I don't like to buy those standard size, like growing containers anymore. That's kind of a waste of money, to be honest. If you have access to get something that's like from your life, I think it's much better to reuse those items than to buy more plastic. So, not saying that I'm endorsing the whole plastic thing, but definitely comes in handy. And I like to reduce, reuse, recycle. All of that good stuff is very helpful. Well, I hope this has been helpful to you if you're trying to grow pawpaw or fruit trees. This is one way to get them started, and also another way to try to improvise with the materials that you have. You saw in the video, I also use creamer containers for my watering. It also prevents me from overwatering, because with a big container, you're like glug, 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 and a lot of houseplants don't have proper drainage, and it rots and gets stinky. So having a smaller watering container is definitely helpful as well, and it's good to repurpose items that are around your house. It makes you feel frugal. It also makes you feel creative. So hopefully these ideas are going to resonate with you. All right, everybody, God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Comment below. What items are you reusing in your garden or in your house to get ready for next spring? Bye-bye.